Well, would you ruddy believe it? I've put on a couple of pounds, probably did irreversible damage to my liver, but yes, it's over, it's done, level 2023 of life has been completed. And unfortunately, it's back to reality. But it's not all doom and gloom, as your beer-chugging host is back with some absolutely terrible content to get you proper moist.
Nice.
So, scrap your New Year's resolutions, pour yourself a cold one, and let's have a good old chinwag about why myself and quite a few other old age players don't game quite like we used to.
Fuck, you're old.
You see, back before I could legally drink a pint, life was a lot bloody simpler. As well, I had all the time in the bloomin' world. Lo and behold, I was not bound by the crushing, cunting weight of responsibility, which, in turn, meant the absolute freedom to game to my heart's content. However, with age comes adulthood, and with adulthood comes a ruddy great amount of responsibility. I stupidly moved out, stupidly got a job, moronically got a girlfriend, a house, and then eventually said girlfriend got me drunk enough to seduce me into having a spawn of my own.
I shall call him Mini-Me.
Don't get me wrong, I do love the little fucker, but he can be annoying as Ashley Graham at times, if you know what I mean. But while all that jazz was happening, the hobby I once adored so much also changed, and everything got a lot more complicated.
Too jazzy?
Consoles got more powerful and had more memory, or whatever it's called.
Memory is RAM.
Which in turn gifted the developers with more space, and with that, games grew not only in scope, but in size too. And this is where the problem started, you see. When I had no life, no worries, or no strife, I could sink hours and hours into the likes of Far Cry, Fallout, or Elder Scrolls without a merry care in the world. No sleep, no problem. And pish, who needs to eat? Sex, forget about it. I'll just get myself an orc of the night on the virtual streets. That'll do. But be warned, as the older you grow, the less wise you become, and the more wrinkly you get, the time you have is finite, leading to the choice of game to be a Sophie's ruddy choice. And you'll tend to favour the more linear, less taxing option over anything else.
It'll happen to you.
But are we really getting too old to game? Oh, feck no. You see, we haven't got old, we've just evolved into a completely different beast that can tell the difference between quality and bloated content. Why put hours into a game that's so packed with filler it would make a plasterer blush, when we can choose just to have fun with what we ruddy play? Why play any game that is so broken it feels like you've been genuinely scammed, or why bother investing in anything that's just designed to take advantage of your wallet? Or even why spend hours collecting, grinding, and yawning for no real satisfaction? When you could just be Robocop and shoot some punks in the face instead.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
And yes, Red Dead 2 and Elden Ring are packed full of content in the right way. But 90% of any AAA trash is not. So why waste your precious time exploring vast yet dull open worlds, collecting pointless items and doing boring side tasks when you can have a 2 to 6 hour indie or mid-tier game experience that you're likely to come back to time and time again? Gaming should be memorable, but to many who grew up in the bloody golden age, the thought of sinking days, weeks, or months into all the optional filler, pointlessly stuffed nonsense of the big-named games turns them off quicker than looking at modern female representation in the bloody medium. I joke, I kid, or do I? You decide. Any ruddy who I may not play as much as I used to, but when I do, I choose quality over content, as at the end of the day, time is precious. I can't count the amount of games I've started, then life happens, I stop playing for a bit, then when I do jump back in, I've forgotten what I was doing, where I am, what's gone on, or even the bloody controls.
Fuck, you're old.
However, luckily I recently did invest in a Retroid Pocket handheld, so I can still kick it old school when I need to. Anyway, this has just been a short rant I'd felt like sharing, sheerly due to the amount of people who constantly say,
"Oh my god, I can't believe you haven't played this yet."
no I haven't, I've got shit to do.
I like to rock and roll part of every day.
Party every day.
I usually have errands.
And honestly, with the current state of AAA games, Am I really missing out? Let me know down in the comments below.